You ever gone to a fast food restaurant and ordered a number 2 or number 3? Wouldn't it be nice if you could do that with your camera so everything's just set up for you? Well, guess what? There is. Grab your camera, whether it's a Canon, Nikon, Olympus, or whatever, they're going to have this type of setting. Might be in different locations, but if you have a Canon, you'll follow along a little bit easier. So I'm going to share the back of my camera, and we're going to see I am going to change the ISO from 200 to automatic. I like to put it in automatic, and you'll see why here in a little bit. But when I set it in automatic, it'll adjust the ISO as needed, especially when you're doing bird photography. You'll be moving your camera. You may have trees in the background, then you have sky in the background, then you have trees in the background. So in manual mode, usually you're not going to be very successful. Now, manual mode would be good in the places where it's the birds. You don't want the birds in the sky. You're only going to be taking pictures of them in the the wooded area. So you could set whatever you want then. So in my case, I'm going to set that to auto. I like to shoot in aperture priority, and you'll see why here in a little bit. Right now I'm in shutter priority, which you want a fast shutter speed for your bird photography, and you'll see why here in a few minutes. I'll give you what I'm going to set to do that. So now we got on aperture priority, and I'm going to go to the lowest aperture setting for the lens that I have. My longer lenses is 4.5. Some lenses can go down a lot lower, but if you got a long lens, unless you paid a lot of money for it, it's probably going to be 4.5, 5.1 or whatever. So now we're going to do our shutter speed range. So your camera might have it in a different location, and you can say I'm going to adjust the lowest shutter speed from 30 seconds to 1/1000th and click OK. Now the slowest shutter speed I can get is 1/1000. So I've got auto ISO, I got aperture priority, so the only thing I'm going to be controlling there is the aperture, and I have a fast shutter speed. Now I'm going to go to the single shot and put it on high speed so that I can actually take multiple photos, because you don't know when the bird's going to move. So we got our shutter speed range, and we're going to look at some other settings that might be useful to us. So going all the way back to the beginning, start from the camera. I did not have RAW turned on, so I have 2 cards. I'll leave one card on large and the other one I'll put on RAW. You can do a lot more recovery from RAW. If you're just starting, it's okay to be JPEG. If you only have one memory card, you can be RAW and JPEG. It's up to you. That's not what this video is about. We're gonna have to adjust the focusing. I've got some advanced focusing techniques in here. And when we get to that, that's under the AF menus. And here we are. I'm on subject to detect, and since it's wildlife, it's on animals, happens to be in the right location. It could be people, vehicles, or none. So we'll leave it on animals. Now, let's go over to where we can save these settings. So if we come down to camera shooting modes, 1, 2, and 3, you register it, you pick the one that you want, you click OK, and now I am set to C1 for my wildlife photography. That easy. So also make sure you have this auto update disabled, otherwise changes you make may get saved and you really don't want them saved. That said, if you get on the scene and you make an adjustment, you can always go back there and hit save to that same location. So let's adjust these camera settings. Let's make them different than what they were. We'll go from the high volume. Let's go down to a single shot. Let's change the mode. So let's change the ISO to something we want. Instead of auto, we'll put it on 200. And let's go look at our shutter speed range. It's at 1/1000th of a second. Go back to 30 seconds and OK. You'll notice when I go click OK, that asterisk will disappear, meaning there's nothing set there. Now I can lower my shutter speed to a much lower than 1/1000th. I'm in TV shutter priority mode. And that's pretty cool. So now I do the shoot at the setting that I just set up. And now I'm going to go back out and do wildlife photography. So let's go check out what happens when I just put it to C1. So we set it to C1. You can see the aperture's already at f4.5. It was an auto ISO. Shutter speed range has been turned back on, and the high speed from single shot has been set to high speed. So it's as simple as that. Hopefully you learned something from this. If you like my videos, hit the subscribe and like. I really appreciate it. This is Doug Gabbard practicing photography, getting better one photo at a time.